Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Marvel Contest of Champions Award show. Today, we have two teams competing for the coveted title of Who's Got the Biggest Bollocks. On the left-hand side of your screen, we have Carl Obsidian, or more accurately, the account known as Nevermind. This is a low-spending or even free-to-play account who today was captured in Barrowman's live stream. After devastating Barrowman's bullseye in round 1, he knew that no matter who he placed in round 2, he could eat any of Barrowman's defenders, assuming he was saving Deathless Thanos for round 3 in negative 10 seconds with Cull Obsidian. So, because he is a Giga Chad and because his balls are visible from space, he placed Kushala on defense against the 127-time Battlegrounds champion and ate his onslaught in less than 35 seconds with a rank 3 Cull Obsidian to take the round. Can I have a round of applause, please? Yeah, I think that's pretty ballsy. That's just about as ballsy as it comes. But wait, there is more. Because in the right-hand side of your screen, we have the contenders from Kabam's Balance team, who today dropped the absolute bombshell that Spider-Woman will be tuned down defensively. Now, look, I could go all day on what they could have done to fix Spider-Woman defensively. I personally believe this was a good decision. They absolutely should have tuned down Spider-Woman. Did they do it in the right way? Absolutely fucking not. There are about 8 other mechanics they could have tuned down without ruining her offensively. Big fucking deal. What I'm concentrating on is the line at the bottom of their rebalance notes. Are you ready? Are you ready for the worst line ever written by a human? Overall, we believe this is an important update in our ongoing efforts to prevent too many strong defenders from being introduced too quickly across the game. Can the rebalance team even read? I'm not joking, I am genuinely asking if they are literate. This is probably the most ironic sentence ever written, and there is no competition. Either they are not sentient, or they are monkeys, or they have balls that generate gravity. The balls, the genitalia needed as a Kabam employee to write that with a straight face, I cannot comprehend. Wow. Well, that was definitely a bit of a detour from the main topic of this video. The main topic is the Rhino buff, and let's get into why the Rhino buff is actually pretty great. Now look, the Rhino buff received an awful lot of hate when it came out, including from yours truly. I made a live show and I said, he's worse than he is before. Now obviously that's a joke. Rhino before his buff was basically unusable. He might have been something resembling a defender nearly a decade ago, but now he is, like bench warmer is not the word. He is useless, just useless. Right, now he's got a buff. We have to acknowledge that him getting a buff is pretty nice. Pulling Rhino now sucks marginally less than it used to a month ago. But look, the Rhino buff, while it doesn't do an awful lot offensively, it is a hell of a lot of fun. And while he is a defender and I don't really like defensive buffs at all, that's kind of on brand for my account at this point, I have to acknowledge the meme factor. I always appreciate memes. And playing the buffed up version of Rhino is a bit of a meme, let's be honest, because you're actually killing opponents in, this is a classic difficulty EQ this month, in less than a minute. And that's kind of impressive. So I know that the event quest right now is big, it's dull, it's boring, everybody hates doing it. It's a lot less appealing than previous iterations of the monthly event quest that we've had recently. It's undergone a lot of change, and this has been by far the worst change, just this structure right now. So Rhino really should form part of your roster. Like, if you don't just want to blast through it and you want to maybe attempt to enjoy this content, I highly recommend Rhino. I highly recommend Rhino because he's just one of these champions. I accidentally turned auto fight there. He's just one of these champions who is obviously a meme, and just like, you can just run through this, swiping left and right, playing with Rhino, actually doing content, and look, is it the most impressive thing in the world? Will I probably be using Color Obsidian? Yes, just to blast through it. But if I want to enjoy this content, if I want to have a little bit of fun while I waste hours of my precious life doing the monthly event quest, I choose Rhino. I choose Rhino every single time. Having him at rank 6 genuinely makes me smile every single time I see him. So, you know what? I get hit with an SB3, big deal. We deal with his Unstoppable, we take down Juggernaut, and, you know, when 7 stars are the meta, that's not an awful time with a 6 star, so he synergizes pretty well with the Science node, at least this month. But let's get on to the biggest feather in the Rhino buff's wing, and that is his defensive potential. Now, it's very on brand for my channel by now that I do not like defensive champions. I don't like defensive buffs, especially with the whole skit that I just made on the most ironic sentence ever uttered by a human. But the Rhino buff is another defender, and I'm going to showcase 3 meta attackers who genuinely struggle to get through the Rhino buff defensively. So this Rhino was the first fight on the right-hand side lane of the same quest I just showed him from a minute ago in this month's monthly event quest on classic difficulty. And the first champion I'm showing is Okoye. So if the opponent is immune to either of her effects, she will refresh the stack of the other debuff. However, Rhino is not immune to bleed. He reduces the ability accuracy of bleed effects by 75%, and what this means is Okoye's damage output is massively curbed. Now, as you can see, she's actually having no issues going through it, but, you know, if you get hit, there's willpower from all his debuffs. He's vulnerable to debuff shrug because none of those are severe debuffs, that's also dumb. But if we think of Okoye as a nuke, a significant amount of her damage output is taken away. She doesn't get the benefits of the opponent being immune to one of her effects. She just gets slowed down, and she doesn't have a way around Unstoppable. So if that does come up, she does have to respect it. And you can see, you know, this is a slightly bigger Rhino than you'd see in Battlegrounds, even as like the 7-star level. But we did have the Strike of Vulnerability node helping us out there. And you can see Okoye, if we think of her as a nuke, her nuking potential is definitely taken down a notch by the Rhino buff. A science character, probably one of the best able science characters to deal with Okoye. He deals with her an awful lot better than High Evolutionary or Spider-Woman on defense, right? I would rather fight Spider-Woman on defense with an Okoye than Rhino. No, I'm not even joking. Now, here's a champion who definitely struggles to take the Rhino buff, and that is Thanos. Deathless Thanos is damn near incapable of taking Rhino on defense. Obviously, he'll be able to do it, right? Because Rhino only exists as a 6-star right now. Most people will be punching down massively and you can just nuke him. But the way Deathless Thanos pauses his effects is through his counterpunch. His counterpunch does not trigger on well-timed block. Rhino inflicts a breach debuff, and unless the attack is well-timely blocked, yeah, well, that's going to go well-timely blocked. Why not? That's a new phrase. He goes unblockable, right? So it is very difficult to keep all of your effects up when you fight Rhino with Deathless Thanos. Now, he can do it in close proximity, but Deathless Thanos, as you can see, has no way around Unstoppable, and I don't even finish the fight. I just quit out, right? I just end it there and then. So Deathless Thanos genuinely struggles. In fact, I'll leave a screenshot up there of someone from my live stream who actually did try and take it, and I should have won that round. I got unlucky with AI. But anyway, what you're seeing on screen right now is a bit of Color Obsidian porn, but actually what's going on in the background is Crossbones attempting to take the buffed version of Rhino. Now, we are in a Footloose meta. That was disgusting. But we are in a Footloose meta, so Crossbones obviously not the best. But Rhino, despite placing non-severe debuffs that can be purified, he's a villain. That's a rank 3 Crossbones. That guy struggled. He struggled, and I know Crossbones will probably be able to nuke it. I'm sure my rank 4 will be absolutely fine. But Crossbones genuinely going to struggle with that, more so than he would against, for example, a Photon. Right? I would rather fight Photon than Rhino when I have a Crossbones. Isn't that kind of mad to think about? But here is a champion who does not struggle. I thought I might as well show a bit of a success story, and that is my newest rank 4, Hitmonkey. Hitmonkey absolutely crushes Rhino, and it's not even close. So this guy obviously relies on physical resistance to soak up a lot of that damage. He has quite a lot of crit resistance. However, if your monkey has guaranteed critical hits, then as you're going to see, he's going to get through an awful lot of that resistance. He's going to be very, very quickly tearing through Rhino, and I have to show some success. Other champions to do pretty damn well. Silk does very, very well with her slow Red Guardian. If you are a bit of a whale and you have a 7-star Red Guardian, he's going to do exactly the same thing to Rhino. Shang-Chi is going to do very, very well. Any champion that can get around unstoppable, and as you can see, Rhino decimated in around 50 seconds there, exactly 50 seconds there by the rank 4 version of Hitmonkey. Look, Rhino's got some stuff going for him, and Spider-Woman is getting a nerf. Isn't that funny? And that is just about all I have for you today. So if you have made it this far, then congratulations, you have an attention span greater than that of a goldfish, and go away.